Columbus.
Columbus. Oh.
Great.
Listen, I did no, up here, guys. All right. Other names, charisma. Huh? Obama.
Trips that he never actually found.
Quick. All right. Mussolini. We'll put him over here.
That's it.
Anybody else? Yes.
Do it. But
Up next.
he had the ability to convince others to do it. So.
Excellent. Anybody else? Yeah.
Gandhi.
Gandhi. Excellent list. Excellent. Anybody else want something else up here? Yeah. Bernie Sanders. We just call him the burn. The burn. Feel the burn. Okay. All right. Anybody else? All right. Great list. Okay. Now, let me tell you about an experiment, and then think what kind of conclusions you draw from it. We'll come back to talk about this list in just a second. There was an experiment done a number of years ago in which people were told, they were brought into a laboratory and told, we're going to ask you to make a series of fairly simple decisions over the course of an hour or so, none of which they were told would be very difficult, mostly involving visual perception. Which line is longer, which color is bluer, that kind of stuff. But they were to make them in groups. The group decisions involved 10, 12 people, a fairly large number of people. And while the decisions themselves were simple, they were a large number. So, one person from that group was selected at random to coordinate the tasks. That is to say, okay, you do the triangles, you do the squares, that kind of stuff. In other words, one person was selected at random to act as
The leader.
And it really was random selection. At the end of that experiment, after an hour or so of work, they took everybody aside into a room, separated them off, and gave them a form, and asked them to evaluate everybody else in their group on the basis of these kinds of characteristics that you've just named. You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Who scored highest, and what does that tell you? Think about it for a second. Who scored highest on that evaluation form, and what does that tell you? Yeah.
The leader scored highest because he
There you
took
go.
the
Very
role.
nice. Yes, that's absolutely true. Consistently. Pardon?
Because he took the role like government said.
Very, very good. There are two possible interpretations of this. That is, one, you put someone in a position of leadership, they rise to the occasion, becoming more caring, more self-confident, more dynamic, more strong-willed. That's possible. But that's not the interpretation the researchers thought most likely. No, it was yours. It was yours. It wasn't so much that they became leaders, they became more self-confident, more dynamic. It's just that people saw it in them. What am I really saying here? Honestly? Deep inside of every single one of us is a sheep. We see characteristics in people. We are so oriented towards the individual, we miss the power of the group in its impact on what we see on people around us. Now, name wasn't named this time, but often the people will say, put that name up there, the Pope. But be aware, that's not anybody's name, is it?
That's the title.
It's a title. More accurately, it is a position. It is a position of leadership. And for any good Catholic, when that white smoke goes up, will they tend to see these kinds of characteristics in that person, no matter what they were like before? Now, granted, Pope Francis right now, you could arguably say, is quite charismatic. But the Pope just before him? No. No. Objectively, but were good Catholics impressed by him? Because of the position. Interestingly, there's no name up here that really, there's not a name up here that often doesn't surprise me, doesn't appear. And that is Bill Clinton. How come? Because he is a joke. Now, most of you are probably too young to have remembered when Bill Clinton was president and the kind of education American children got during that period of time.
Mommy, what's a blowjob?
Bill Clinton degraded the office he occupied, degraded himself. You know about Monica Lewinsky? Heard about the little stain on her dress? He was a joke. Well, let me give you a little joke from that period of time. I think I heard this on, Jay Leno or something like that. Bill Clinton, president. Here's the line. Did you know that there was a survey done of American women? They asked American women if they would have a sexual affair with Bill Clinton. And do you know what 55% of American women said?
He was good looking.
Not again. What a joke. What a joke. A man who just couldn't keep it zipped, degrading his office, and that is why he would never appear on a list like that. Well, what would it take to make Bill Clinton, even today, one of the most admired presidents in American history? Honestly, a 38, liberally applied. I can prove that. You know the name that almost commonly appears when you ask any average American for the most dynamic, charismatic of modern American presidents? You know what name always appears? It's a 3-letter one. JFK. Good looking, self-confident, dynamic. Okay, my children, let's talk real world stuff here. Let's be honest about JFK. JFK makes Bill Clinton look like the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
Did JFK have a little bit of a problem keeping his zipped? Oh yeah, everybody knows who? Marilyn Monroe. Actually, you can still see this on the YouTube. You get a little video clip of Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday" to him. Okay. Oh, but it wasn't just Marilyn Monroe. There was a line of women. He had a sexual addiction. Bill Clinton, for all of his sexual affairs, never put the security of this country at risk. But JFK did. JFK had an affair while in office with a German woman. This is during the era of the Cold War. He had an affair not with a German woman from West Berlin, West Germany. He had an affair with a woman from East Germany who was extremely physically attractive, but with known ties to the Stasi, which was the East German, the communist secret police, the spy agency. Knowing that she was a German spy just made JFK hotter. I'm not making this stuff up. Yet JFK is the embodiment of charisma, and Clinton is a joke. How come? 3 words. Lee Harvey Oswald. The guy who? Assassinated, making him a martyr. And a surprisingly large number of the people you listed were also martyred in office. You make him a martyr, you kill him in office, you will be admired. And if you're a little bit smart and a lot unscrupulous, you can use that. Adolf Hitler was a little bit smart, but a lot unscrupulous. He wanted power. Initially, he tried to seize power in what's called a military putsch. That's a German term. attempt to overthrow the government. Some military officers rose up, and Hitler cheered them on. It failed. The putsch failed. Hitler was placed in jail for a while, where he spent his time writing his little book called Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. Oh, no fair! They put me in jail for trying to overthrow the government. Okay, he gets out of jail and decides no more putsches, no more military. He is going to rise through politics. He wants to get elected. Well, he'd been part of a group called the Brown Shirts, a group of fascist thugs that beat up their opponents. Now he wants legitimacy. So it'd be helpful if his movement had a martyr. Not him. Self-defeating. No, he wanted somebody in his group. And there was a guy, part of the old Brown Shirts, these fascist thugs, called Ernst Röhm. R-O-E-H-M, something like that. R-O-E-H-M, something like that. This was a big, mean SOB. He was really good at going out and beating up the Jews, and the commies, and the gays, and the gypsies. This was one mean SOB. But by now, Rome had become an embarrassment to Hitler, because while beating up the Jews and the commies and the gays and the gypsies, Rome himself turned out to be gay. Gay. So Hitler had him killed, assassinated, and then got on radio, went to his funeral, and cried great crocodile tears. The guy he just had killed, he got on radio, cried. Oh, the guy. Not a bad actor. Today, we lower to the earth, the good German earth, a man of the people, a man who gave his life for you and me, a man who gave his life for his country, fighting the Jews. Did it work? Oh, yeah. And what's behind it? That human tendency to get behind strong leaders because they appear to us dynamic and self-confident. But it is not just a personal characteristic. It is a position. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's talk a little bit about group dynamics. This is social psychology of groups. And what I'm going to do is keep bringing this back, actually. I'll be back. See, we had object perpetuity, I come back. All right. Let's keep this framed around leadership. And frankly, especially that guy, because he makes the point so dramatically. Now you can turn off the light a little bit. We can just turn off most of them so you can see this a little bit better. There we go. All right. Impact of groups on the size. First, well, before I do this, let me give you something that's not on this. Just take it.